So now we're going to talk about how to indoor train your dog for potty. Indoor training is very convenient for people that live in an apartment or condo situation where they're on an upper floor, which complicates the path to outside. The first distinction to understand when you're outdoor training a dog is that the puppy will not learn to indicate to you that it's got to go outside because it's not used to going outside. Whereas in our traditional crate training method, we talk about the process of getting the puppy in its harness and leash, and then going outside, ringing a bell, go to the potty zone. That part isn't a thing with indoor training. So instead, you are directing your puppy to potty in one main area in your home where you put your pee pad. An upgrade option above and beyond a pee pad is the indoor turf. The turf looks like grass and feels more like grass than the pee pad does. It also keeps the pee off of your puppy's feet if it does potty on the turf. The pee will go through the turf and absorb on a pad beneath. So if you're pee pad or turf training the dog, it's different than training a cat to use a litter box. Cats are going to instinctively seek out a litter box, so you don't have to do much for a cat except make sure they know where the box is. For puppies, you have to teach them what the turf is and direct them to go potty on the turf. For this reason, you can't hide the turf in a basement or a side room the way you could with a cat litter box. The turf should initially be in a main room where you spend a lot of time that is easy to access for everybody. Living room, family room, kitchen, those are good candidates. That way you can easily direct the puppy to use the turf for potty time. What you're looking for as you observe the puppy is the change in body language that happens when the puppy's about to go potty or is looking for a place to go potty. Most puppies will have to potty first thing in the morning, after mealtime, and after active play. Most puppies will also start to sniff and circle when they're trying to find the right spot to go. When you notice that behavior, that's your cue to move the puppy to the turf. So when you notice your puppy has the sniffing, circling body language, you nicely pick the puppy up and put it on the turf. Be ready with your lickety stick and you tell him, go potty. And if the puppy does go potty on here, we're gonna praise and reward. Stay right by the turf. If the puppy walks off the turf, nope, come on bud, let's go potty. So we're gonna keep our tone light and friendly. You don't want him to be afraid, you don't want this to be scary, and you wanna be ready with your treat so you give him an instant reward when he does the thing. Our main housebreaking kit does include the housebreaking aid as well, and you can use this on the turf. However, you don't need to use a lot of the housebreaking aid because it smells like pee, and you don't want the whole turf to smell like pee. So one spritz in the middle is good enough. You can also have the harness on your puppy so the puppy almost has a handle, so that will allow you to more quickly redirect him if you had the harness on him. You don't want to scare your puppy or give it any reason to want to hide when you have to go potty. So if mistakes occur, you can use a paper towel and blot up that mistake, or if it's poop, grab the mistake in a paper towel, put that mistake on the turf, and then bring the puppy back, have him sniff it, and then if the puppy sniffs it, looks up at you, yep, good potty, this is where you're supposed to do that, good potty, to teach him that's where he's supposed to go. Puppies will actually pick up and understand the concept of coming to the turf more quickly than they will understand that they have to go outside for potty. That's partially because the turf is right there in the main room where the puppy's located, and it's getting consistent feedback that this is where you're supposed to go do that action. Indicating that the puppy has to go outside for potty is more abstract because it's a two-step process. They have to recognize that they got to go potty, and then they got to learn to tell you that they want to go outside for potty. If you're turf training, the puppy just needs to walk over to the turf and go potty when the need arises. What the dog does need from you is for you to consistently reinforce that behavior with praise and treats when the right thing happens. When you are not around, the puppy should not be wandering around that room unsupervised. You're not going to be there to reinforce or redirect, so you should still use your crate when you cannot watch the puppy. The crate is giving the puppy a safe place to be and helping the puppy build bladder and bowel control. You want the puppy to very clearly understand that there is a direct cause and effect relationship. He pees on the turf, he gets praise in the lickety stick. Every time. That is the quickest way to get the puppy to understand what it's supposed to do. Now, the question often arises that when you're pee pad training, will your dog ever go outside for potty? Certainly, if you are outside walking your dog, he's going to go potty outside if he has to. This is good for both exercise, and it makes your pee pads last longer. They're not going to be, you know, getting messed up with every bladder and bowel movement your dog has. So we have this assortment where you get this wee patch indoor potty. We also include a replacement turf. You want this because, you know, after it's been peed on a little bit, it's going to smell. And also, if the dog were to have a loose bowel movement on here, you'd want to be able to clean that up. So having a replacement turf to swap out, use your enzyme cleaner on it, that's just a nice thing to have. The other thing that's really important when you're using a turf is that you do actually use the potty pads underneath the turf, because there's a plastic tray underneath here. And if you think about it, this tray is collecting the pee, and if you don't have something to absorb the urine, you're walking around with this tray full of pee hoping you don't spill it. That's not really the way to be. So certainly use the pee pads underneath the turf every single time. So those are all the elements of indoor housebreaking your dog. If you get our housebreaking indoor kit, it's going to have all the necessary accessories. You have the instructions. It's all about consistency. Having the turf in an area where the dog is spending a lot of time so you can easily redirect it to that spot, and utilizing praise when the dog does the good thing. So if this is an option that you'd like to consider, we have the whole assortment available for you. You can hit add to cart off the website, or we have it available in store.